Like and subscribe right now, or the spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. With drones now taking over the world, they're everywhere and doing everything. They're flying, filming, and even delivering food in some areas. Who knew they'd be this important? I bet the drone inventor regrets spending less money on his invention. But just because drones can go anywhere, it doesn't mean that they should. Today, we're taking a look at some scary and weird things the drones have captured that weren't meant for human eyes. Be ready for anything. Number 1. Crop circles seen from overhead. Is that a mystical landscape? Whatever they are, there's no doubt that they're incredible pieces of art. While some think that aliens are the cause of these jaw-dropping displays, it's still a wonder that hasn't unfolded yet. But whoever made these circles is clearly trying to communicate something, don't you think? They exist in many countries around the world and have been documented ever since their discovery in the 1970s. You'd assume that we'd know a lot about these circles, but no, it's still a mystery. Since no one knew the origins of these crop circles, humans decided to do what they do best, make their own. Unlike these, modern crop circle designs generally use Euclidean geometry. They've made many shapes, from saucer nests to massive jellyfish. They use center pivot irrigation to irrigate the crops, where a water source is in the middle of a circle. The water's fed through the metal tubing, which sprinkles a crop with water as it proceeds in a circle or shape. Number 2. Drone flies into tornado. Have you ever wondered what a tornado looks like from an aerial point of view? Well, today is your lucky day. This footage gives a glimpse of what to expect. You probably have lots of questions. We all have them. No one knew you could fly a drone right into a tornado until now. The frantic whine of the drones as it flies in gives you a sense of urgency as you anticipate seeing what will happen next. It's like watching a thriller movie where you're not sure what's going to happen next. What an amazing experience. Number 3. Village shaped like a man. Here's one of the beauties of seeing things from an aerial view. Centeripe is a small village on the island of Sicily, Italy. It wasn't until this discovery that the island became famous. Before that, it was just a normal village. Pio Andrea Perri was the one who discovered through Google Earth that his small town looked like a human. Since he had a drone with him, he did what anyone would do in the situation, use his drone to prove it. He sent it as high as it could go and verified what he'd seen online. His village makes a shape that resembles a person. More about this ancient story is for another day. Meanwhile, why don't you go search your own town on Google Earth? You never know what you might find. Number 4. Man missing and found by drone. Are you ready to hear a good deed? A 75-year-old man, Peter Pug, was with his family and friends on Saturday evening before being separated from them. The old man had gotten caught in a deep, muddy creek where he stayed overnight until he got help the following day. The police in Norfolk used a drone to locate him. They airlifted him to the hospital, where he was treated for hypothermia. Poor old man. We're glad everything turned out well in the end. Drones are proving to be good in many ways. What can we say about what's coming next? Did the drone do a good deed or not? Number 5. World's biggest drug plantation. Imagine growing your cannabis plantation worry-free in the remote countryside for many years, only for a drone to spot it. This footage shows a drone flying over the world's largest marijuana plantation in Mexico in the Baja California desert. The plantation is claimed to be linked to Joaquin El Chapo Guzman and his Sinaloa cartel. He was one of the world's most wanted men. The plantation stretches out over more than 300 acres of land. It was only when the soldiers reached the area that they found thousands of pot plants, some as tall as 2.5 meters, almost 8 feet. The people working on the farm fled as soon as they saw the military personnel. The plantation was covered by the screening often used to protect crops from too much sun and heat. This made it difficult to smell what was growing underneath. Without the drone, it was close to impossible to detect the farm at ground level. But I bet the owners hadn't bargained for modern technology. It took the military a whole week to destroy the field by burning the plants. Let's just say it was a high intervention. Number 6. The world's first drone-based jump. Okay, I admit, I never saw this coming. Did you? Humanity's obsession with leaping from the skies and returning to Earth using a parachute has advanced to another level. I bet the inventor's an adrenaline junkie who's obsessed with drones. Here's the world's first drone jump. A Latvian high-powered drone development company, Aranis, is looking towards making large drones that will be used for transportation, construction, rescues, and even as a sport. Yep, that's where the world is heading. This is a jump test to prove their drones are capable of lifting a serious amount of weight, up to 200 kilograms. The jump took place in Mali, a rural area of Armada, Latvia, and a skydiver, Ingus Ogslans, was the one doing the test. Did you get anxious when the drone started taking him up? The feeling was mutual. As soon as he releases his hands from the handlebars and skydives back to Earth with a parachute, all the tension is released. The test was successful. Well, history's been made, and a sport's now born. How amazing! Number 7. Drones zip through abandoned coal factory. Speaking of sports, ever heard of this one? Whether you've heard of it or not, this sport does exist. It's a fast-growing competitive sport that's turned flying drones into a competitive sport. So, what happens in this sport? How does it work? Let me tell you. First of all, goggles are another type of head-mounted display that's directly connected to a camera on the drone and worn by drone operators. The pilot may navigate from the drone's point of view thanks to this camera's live stream feed, which is transmitted from the drone to the headset. They merge with the drone and, as a result, control it as if they were inside of it. This incredible footage captures the moment when a drone enthusiast raced through an abandoned coal factory. The pilot races the tiny drone through tight passageways and broken windows at breakneck speeds. Let's all agree this looks interesting. Would you try it? How fast and how close would you dare fly your first-person view drone? Number 8. The bike graveyards of China. No country on Earth tops China in the number of bikes and cyclists. A bike was essential for living in the 1990s. By the time the bike wave got to the US, it was already far more deeply embedded in China culture. Dozens of bike share companies had flooded the city's streets with millions of brightly colored rental bicycles. In case you're unfamiliar, bike sharing is simply e-bikes that are designed to be as accessible as possible via GPS tracking and electronic payments. All you need is a smartphone, and you're good to go. Sadly, the rapid growth vastly outpaced the immediate demand for rental bikes, causing a flood of millions of shared bicycles abandoned on the already crowded streets. They had to get rid of them. All companies threw away their existing bikes, thus creating bike graveyards. Just look at how big the graveyard is. I bet there are over 1 million bicycles in there. What a well-organized approach to dealing with abandoned bikes. I mean, have you noticed how color-coded they are? It's even hard to believe they've been abandoned. Number 9. Drone captures active volcano. How amazing is it to capture such footage? Only my daredevil friends can achieve this since it's quite risky, not only for the person flying the drone, but also for the drone itself. I mean, you wouldn't want your drone to fall into the lava, right? This is Moram Crater, one of the largest boiling lava lakes in the world, which is found on the Vanuatuan island of Ambrym. If you're wondering if they just stood near the crater, unarmed, controlling the drones, the answer is no. They wore a custom-built industrial proximity heat suit with an aluminized fiberglass shell and Nomex. It's a fire-retardant liner that's built to withstand radiant temperatures of up to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This just shows how these highly controlled flying cameras might advance science and exploration. Number 10. Perfectly round sinkholes. Where no man can record, the drone takes over and records everything from an aerial view. When a sinkhole opened in Chile, the authorities used a drone to show us the largest sinkhole in human history. It's claimed that the Washington Monument inside could fit and even have about 100 feet to spare. It's not only deep blue but also wide. It was first estimated to be about 82 feet wide, but it proved to be much larger, nearly 105 feet upon further inspection. So what caused this large sinkhole? Well, there's still no clue, but the presence of a nearby mine, the Alcobarossa underground mine, shows that they could be involved. Someone should consider flying a drone inside and showing us the inside of the sinkhole. Don't you think? Until next time, adios.